So let's start. I'm Maya Tripp. I'm the Jewish Life and Culture Manager, the APJCC, Jewish Silicon Valley. And I'm so happy to be here today. It's my department, and it's the Russian-speaking department, and Rabbi Anat Baird. And we are both really happy to have Broadway, the Great Jewish Way, tonight. So I will let Ken Abrams in a second introduce Anat Baird. Ken Abrams is from the Arts and Culture Committee, the Jewish Life and Culture Committee, and he knows a thing or two about stage and singing and Broadway himself. But just two things to say. Maybe some of you see closed captioning at the bottom. You can hide it by pressing on the CC button. There's a little arrow to the right, and then hide subtitle if you want to hide it. The second thing that I will say is during Anat's performance, there will be many songs. Unfortunately, we will mute you in order to hear Anat. But I'll still put the lyrics of the words of the songs in the chat, so you can sing out loud in the comfort of your home. So try that at home. I'll put the lyrics in the chat. I invite you to email us back. I will email you at the end of this program and say if you loved it or if not, or if anything else. And now Ken Abrams.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ken Abrams. Again, I'm a member of the Cultural Arts Committee at the JCC of Los Gatos. And I've known Anat for many years, and now it's my turn to embarrass the poor thing. And here she is in Oliver. She's playing the lead role in Oliver. I'm playing Fagin. Her sister was the other one. She is 12 years old here. And she was...
Ken, I was not 12.
Was that? How old were you?
I think I was like 14.
14? Okay. But she was already an established actor at that young age and the star of the show. So I was very pleased to work with her, and it was wonderful to do so. And I am extraordinarily pleased to be able to introduce her today. Anat Baird, born in Israel, is a 20-year-old vocalist from the South Bay in California. She fell in love performing musically on stage in front of an audience from an early age. Singing from her heart is one of the things in life that makes her happy. She is a student at West Valley College. She has most recently been in their Into the Woods production as Little Red. Anat is a vocal teacher for many aspiring young singers preparing for their own school musicals. Anat hopes you'll enjoy this virtual performance, as well as she enjoys singing these famous Broadway songs. Anat.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I will be starting this program with a song that is true and dear to my heart. And I hope you all enjoy it as much as I do. Heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Don't turn back now that we're here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear or how the world can seem so vast on a journey to the past. Somewhere down this road. I know someone's waiting. Years of dreams just can't be wrong. Arms will open wide. I'll be safe and wanted. Finally home where I belong. Well, starting now, I'm learning fast on the journey to the past. Home, love, family. There was once a time I must have had them too. Home, love, family. I will never be complete until I find you. One step at a time, one hope then another. Who knows where this road may go? Back to who I was, on to find my future, things my heart still needs to know. Yes, let this be a sign, let this road be mine, let it lead me to my past and bring me home at last. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It is an honor to be here sharing some wonderful music with you. The opening selection was Journey to the Past from Anastasia, which was written by Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty. Let me. So, Lynn Ahrens. She's who we're going to talk about today. Lynn Ahrens was born in New York City and she grew up in Neptune Township, New Jersey. She got her start writing for Schoolhouse Rock, and you might have heard her voice because she sang the preamble and she also wrote it, and some other songs too. She met Stephen Flaherty in 1982, and they wrote a few shows, but their first big successful show was a musical called Once on This Island, which was nominated for 8 Tonys. They would go on to write more musicals for stage and the screen, such as Anastasia, which is what you just heard, which was a movie in 1997 and later would turn into a Broadway musical in 2018. And they also wrote Seussical in 2000, which would become one of the most produced shows in America. Also, me and Ken did that show. Yeah. Since we are talking about the past, let's go back to the beginning of the 20th century and talk about one of America's most beloved composing teams, the Gershwins. So the Gershwins were born in Brooklyn to Russian Jewish immigrants. Ira was born in 1896 and George was born in 1898. They grew up in the Yiddish theater district and sometimes they would perform shows there. George dropped out of school at age 15 to become a song plugger. Later, George and Ira would start collaborating in 1924. And George's style of music was jazz-inspired music with some classical. For example, Rhapsody in Blue is one of his more orchestral pieces that have jazz and classical inspiration to it. The song that I'll be singing, though, was lyrics written by Ira, music written by George. Ira was the lyrics writer. It was from a musical review called OK, and it has been covered by several famous singers such as Ella Fitzgerald, Barbra Streisand, Ray Charles, Willie Nelson, Elton John, Amy Winehouse. The list goes on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this song, Someone to Watch Over Me. There's a saying old, says the love is blind. Still seek and ye shall find. So I'm going to seek a certain lad I've had in mind. Looking everywhere, haven't found him yet. He's the big affair I cannot forget. Only man I ever think of with regret. I'd like to add his initials to my monogram. Tell me, where is the shepherd for this lost lamb? There's a somebody I'm longing to see. I hope that he turns out to be someone to watch over me. I'm a little lamb who's lost in a wood. I know I could always be good to one who'll watch over me. Although he may not be the man some girls think of as handsome, to my heart he carries the key. Won't you tell him please to put on some speed? Follow my lead, oh, how I need someone who'll watch over me. Someone to watch over me. So, the Gershwins were a pair of popular music composers whose scores crossed from the radio into the stage. And this next composer had the fortune to have the same thing happen to her. Carole King. She was born in Manhattan in 1942, and she grew up in Brooklyn. Her mother taught her piano. And when she went to college, she met Jerry Goffin, and they got pregnant, so she got married to him at 17. But later they would become writing partners, and they would write many hits for famous singers like the Shirleys, the Beatles, Aretha Franklin, and more. In 1968, though, they got divorced, and later King made her own album called Tapestry, with hits like You've Got a Friend and It's Too Late. She won 4 Grammys for it, including for Best Vocal Performance. Later, there would be 2 musicals that have been made about her life. And the second one is called Beautiful, which was produced in 2013, and it won a Grammy for Best Musical Album. So this is the title song from that show, Beautiful, written by Carole King. And I love this song. I hope that you guys also appreciate the message that it has. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. And people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station with a workday wind a-blowing, I got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces I see frustrations growing, and they don't see it showing. Why do got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. I've often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answers, maybe love can end the madness, maybe not. Oh, but we can only try. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful as you feel. In honor of Women's History Month, here are some incredible Jewish ladies: Hedy Lamarr, Anne Frank, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Golda Meir, Barbra Streisand. These are all of my inspirations. And you guys can think of more if you want. That was great. Okay, so we cannot talk about musical theater collaborators without talking about this next pair. Rodgers and Hammerstein. Yeah, they're the big ones. Rodgers and Hammerstein. So, Rodgers was born in 1902 in Queens, New York, and Hammerstein was born in 1895, also in New York City, to a Jewish father and a British mother. So, he's our half Jew right here. So, the first collaboration was Oklahoma in 1943, which was a massive hit. And so were most of their upcoming shows. But Oklahoma was actually the first show to introduce dance as a new way of storytelling in a musical. So before, dance was more of like a distraction. But in this show, dance was a way for the characters to develop, for the story to develop. So I think that's pretty cool for any dancers out there. So their shows were all ahead of their time. Okay, they were tackling subjects like domestic abuse, colonialism, war, racism. And this next song that I'm going to be singing is from the show Carousel, which I'm sure a lot of you know. It's a beautifully composed show, and it's surrounding the dark topic of domestic abuse. This is If I Loved You from Carousel. Sing along if you know this one. When I worked in the mill, weaving at the loom, I gazed absent-minded at the roof. Then half the time the shuttle tangled in the threads, and the warp it'd get mixed with the woof. If I loved you, but somehow I can see just exactly how I'd be if I loved you. Time and again I would So musicals have the ability to highlight political issues from different times in our history. And the following selection is another example of that. Alan Menken. He was born in New York City in 1949. And his parents were both into the arts. His dad was a dentist, but he played piano, and his mother was an actress and a playwright. He started out his writing career with writing jingles and writing for Sesame Street and teaching voice lessons. His big first successful show was with playwright Howard Ashman with their show Little Shop of Horrors in 1982. The two then went on to write songs for Disney films, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. Menken also wrote a musical adaptation of A Christmas Carol with lyrics by Lynn Ahrens, which we talked about earlier, in 1994. He would then write songs for more Disney films with other composers and lyricists, such as you can see on the screen, you got Pocahontas, Newsies, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Tangled, Enchanted, all the shows and movies that I love. This next song that I'm going to be singing is from the musical Newsies, which was first a movie in 1992, and then it was turned into a successful Broadway musical in 2011. It's based on the newsboy strike of 1899 in New York City, and in the song, a woman reporter is attempting to cover that story. So I hope you enjoy. Write what you know, so they say. All I know is I don't know what to write or the right way to write it. This is big, lady, don't screw it up. This is not some little vaudeville I'm reviewing. Poor little kids versus rich, greedy sourpusses. It's a cinch. I can practically write itself, and let's pray it does. Cause if I may have mentioned, I have no clue what I'm doing. Am I insane? This is what I've been waiting for. Well, that plus the screaming of 10 angry editors. A girl? It's a girl. How the hell is that even legal? Look, just go and get her. Not only that, there's a story behind the story. Thousands of children exploited, invisible. Speak up, take a stand, and there's someone to write about it. That's how things get better. Give life's little guy some ink, and when it dries, just watch what happens. Those kids will live and breathe right on the page, and once they're center stage, you watch what happens. And who's there with her camera and her pen? As boys turn into men, they'll storm the gates, and then just watch what happens when they do. Picture a handsome, heroically charismatic, plain-spoken, know-nothing, skirt-chasing, cocky little son of a lie down with dogs, and you wake up with a praise and a promotion. So he's a flirt, a complete egomaniac. The fact is he's also the face of the strike, and what a face. Face the fact that's a face that could save us all from sinking in the ocean. Like someone says, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power. Wait, corrupt? Absolutely, that is genius. But give me some time, I'll be twice as good as that 6 months from never. Just look around at the world we're inheriting and think of the one we'll create. Their mistake is they got old, that is not a mistake. We'll be making no, sir, we'll stay young forever. Give those kids and me the brand new century, and watch what happens. It's David and Goliath, do or die, the fight is on, and I can't watch what happens. But all I know is nothing happens if you just give in. It can't be any worse than how it's been, and it just so happens that we just might win. So whatever happens, let's begin. this next selection comes from one of the most beloved musicals ever written. All right, so Bock and Harnick. Bock was born in New Haven, Connecticut in 1928, but he grew up in Queens. Harnick was born in Chicago in 1942. The two met in 1956 and wrote The Body Beautiful, which wasn't successful. However, their next project, Fiorello, was a big success and got them a Tony Award for Best Musical and a Pulitzer Prize. They went on to write many more shows, but more significantly, they wrote Fiddler on the Roof and She Loves Me. And Bock was of Jewish-Hungarian ancestry, so both shows include his background because She Loves Me takes place in Hungary, and Fiddler on the Roof is, of course, about Jewish people. We all know that. So Fiddler on the Roof won 9 Tonys, including Best Musical in 1972, and it got a special Tony. In 1972, it got a special Tony on becoming the longest-running show of that time. The film was also a massive success. This next song that I'll be singing is sung by Tevye's daughter, Hodel, as she heads off to Siberia to be with the man that she loves. How can I hope to make you understand why I do what I do? Why I must travel to a distant land, far from the home I love. Once I was happily content to be as I was, where I was, close to the people who are close to me, here in the home I love. Who could see that a man would come who would change the course of my dreams? Helpless now, I stand with him, watching older dreams grow dim. Oh, what a melancholy choice this is, wanting home, wanting him, closing my heart to every hope but his, leaving the home I love. There where my heart has settled long ago, I must go, I must go. Who could imagine I'd be wandering so far from the home I love? Yet there with my love, I'm home. There we go. Our next composer is William Finn. And there he is. So William Finn was born in Boston in 1952, and he was raised in a very conservative Jewish family. He had a very Jewish childhood. He learned to play music on his guitar that he got for his bar mitzvah. And he would write about the Jewish and gay experiences in America, as well as family, loss, sickness, and healing. His musicals are very much personal to him. For example, in 1992, He had an AVM and needed gamma knife surgery. Now, I am not very familiar with medical stuff, but all I know is that it's some surgery with your brain. And he said that the following year he felt like he had a new brain, which inspired him to write his next musical, A New Brain, which is about a gay Jewish composer who feared he would never be able to write the music he loves again because of his brain surgery. So, pretty much similar to his actual life. But the musical that I want to be talking about today is Falsettos. So in 1981, he wrote a one-act musical called March of the Falsettos, which it was about a gay man named Marvin, and him divorcing his wife to be with his partner, his lover, and how that affected his wife, him, his lover, his psychiatrist, and his son. And then in 1991 or 7, one of those, I don't have that down. He wrote the sequel, which was Falsetto Land, another one-act musical, which was about a few years later, and it really focused on the AIDS epidemic, and basically it had a political commentary on how little the Reagan administration cared for the victims in that time. In 2016, the two one-acts were combined into falsettos, and it won a Tony for Best Revival. The song that I'll be singing is sung by the character Trina, who is the ex-wife of Marvin, and now she's the wife of the psychologist or the psychiatrist. And in this song, she comes to terms with the fact that she does care for Marvin's partner who is dying of AIDS. It's very complex, and it's one of my favorite shows, and I hope you enjoy this song. I was sure growing up I would live the life my mother assumed I'd live. Very Jewish, very middle class, and very straight. Where healthy men stayed, healthy men, and marriages were long and great. I smile, I don't complain. I try to keep sane as these rules keep changing. Families aren't what they were. Thank God there's a husband and a child whom I adore. But then there's more, so many more. There's always more. Life is never what you plan. Life is moments you can't understand. And that is life. I'm plain, I don't astound. I try to keep sane as these rules keep changing, keeping my balance square. Try not to care about this man who Marvin loves. But that's my life. He shared my life. Yes, that's my life. Life is never what you plan. Life is moments you can't understand. And that is life. Holding to the ground as the ground keeps shifting. Trying to keep sane as these rules keep changing. Keeping up my head as my heart falls out of sight. Everything will be alright. Everything will be all right. Thank you. The following selection is by one of the world's most respected musicians, Leonard Bernstein. We love him. Leonard Bernstein was born in 1918 in Lawrence, Massachusetts, to Ukrainian Jewish parents. He was a composer, a conductor, a pianist, an educator, an author, humanitarian. He did everything. In fact, it was a little hard for me to compile some information on him and keep it simple because his Wikipedia page is very long. So his music legacy is similar to George Gershwin because he also carried on with like this jazz classical mix. But in 1956, he composed music for the hit musical West Side Story with lyrics by a young lyricist and composer, Stephen Sondheim. The show is a modern Romeo and Juliet set in the Lower West Side and revolves around two teen rivalry gangs called the Jets and the Sharks, both of different ethnic backgrounds, white and Puerto Rican. It's a very famous show. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. And here, so the next song that I'll be singing is from this show. It's called Somewhere. I'm sure some of you know, so sing along if you know this. There's a place for us somewhere, a place for us, peace and quiet and open air, wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us someday, a time for us, time together with time to spare, time to learn, time to care. Someday, somewhere, we'll find a new way of living. We'll find a way of forgiving. Somewhere. There's a place for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow, someday, somewhere. All right, this is a perfect segue for our next selection. The lyricist for West Side Story went on to have an amazing solo career in Broadway theater. We're going to be talking about Stephen Sondheim. He was born in New York City in 1930 to a wealthy Jewish family, and he grew up in the upper West Side, I think, or the East Side. But his parents were divorced, and as an only child, he was a little bit emotionally neglected. His mother really wasn't there. His father was absent. But when he turned 10, he became friends with James Hammerstein, the son of Oscar Hammerstein. And Oscar took Stephen under his wing and kind of became his mentor slash parent figure. And he taught him everything he needed to know about musical theater writing. After writing the lyrics for West Side Story in his early 20s, so he was already pretty successful, he then went on to write and compose many other successful musicals that would become just iconic theater pieces that a lot of us know and love and just keep getting produced. This next song is from his 1970 musical Company, which consists of vignettes surrounding the main character, Bobby, as he turns 35 and he struggles with the fact that he's still single and all of his friends are married. Some commitment issues there. But this song is sung in the very end of the show where he finally realized that he is ready. He is ready to have that special someone in his life. Now, this is a male character and I am a girl. However, there's recently been a revival of Company where Bobby is played by a woman and all the roles are kind of gender bent. So I will be singing Being Alive from the musical Company. Somebody hold me too close. Somebody hurt me too deep. Somebody sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive. Being alive. Somebody need me too much. Somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Make me alive. Make me alive. Make me confused. Mock me with praise. Let me be used. Vary my days. But alone is alone, not alive. Somebody crowd me with love. Somebody force me to care. Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive. Being alive. Being alive. All right. We are approaching the end. Thank you all for being a part of this concert. It was a wonderful experience to be able to share all this amazing music with you. I know we all look forward to when live performances in person can happen again. Soon, hopefully. So our next selection and our last one comes from Broadway's other most famous Stephen Schwartz. Stephen was born in New York City in 1948, and when he attended Carnegie Mellon University, he wrote his first musical, Pippin, which was kind of like a student-run show at the time. After graduation, his first big successful musical was his 1971 hit Godspell, which won 2 Grammys. And then later, Pippin would premiere on Broadway with completely new songs from his college version. Both Pippin and Godspell are still frequently produced. In the 90s, he collaborated with Alan Menken, who we talked about earlier, on Disney films such as Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He also wrote songs for the 1998 DreamWorks movie, The Prince of Egypt, which I grew up watching, absolutely loved, winning him an Academy Award for the song When You Believe. It's a great one. But in 2003, Schwartz returned to writing for Broadway with the musical Wicked, which is the backstory of the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. It won several awards, and it's still running on Broadway now, making it the fifth longest running show. It is also performed all over the world. It's been translated to different languages, and it's constantly on tour in the United States. So chances are a lot of you have seen it. It's very popular. So I will be singing a song from that show, sung by our heroine, Elphaba. Did that really just happen? Have I actually understood? This weird quirk I've tried to suppress or hide is a talent that could help me meet the wizard if I make good. So I'll make good. When I meet the wizard, once I prove my worth, and then I'll meet the wizard, what I've waited for since birth, and with all his wizard wisdom, by my looks he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb? Or like Munchkin, so small-minded? No, he'll say to me, I see who you truly are, a girl whom I can rely, and that's how we'll begin, the wizard and I. Once I'm with the wizard, my whole life will change. 'Cause once you're with the wizard, no one thinks you're strange. No father is not proud of you. No sister acts ashamed. And all of us has to love you, for by the wizard you're acclaimed. And this gift or this curse I have inside, maybe at last I'll know why, when we are paired hand in hand, wizard and I. And one day he'll say to me, Elphaba, a girl who is so superior, shouldn't a girl who's so good inside have a matching exterior? And since folks up here to an absurd degree seem fixated on your verdigris, would it be alright by you if I degreenify you? And though of course that's not important to me, alright, why not? I'll reply, oh what a pair we'll be, the wizard and I. It's what a pair we'll be, the wizard and unlimited. My future is unlimited, and I've just had a vision almost like a prophecy. I know it sounds truly crazy and true, the vision's hazy, but I swear someday there'll be a celebration throughout Oz that's all to do with me. And I'll stand there with the wizard, feeling things I've never felt. And though I'd never show it, I'd be so happy I could melt. And so it will be for the rest of my life, and I'll want nothing else till I die, held in such high esteem. When people see me, they will scream for half of Oz's favorite team, the Wizard and Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Cheryl.
Marvelous.
I just wanted to say thank you to the APJCC for letting me do this, for being patient with me. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Ken. Also, thank you, Gabe, the sound guy. And also, I would like to say thank you to my singing teachers, Daniel Hughes, who made my tracks and helped me with the script and everything. And also, I would like to say thank you to my other singing teacher, Mariah Faith Rose. She's great. And I would like to say thank you to all of you for joining me. And thank you to my mom, of course. She supports me all the time. Thank you to RSJ. Thank you, everyone. I am done here.
Thanks for a great
Wonderful,
performance,
absolutely
a great
wonderful.
program.
Fabulous.
Job, Anat.
Good afternoon, dear.
Remember where you've
Good
seen it
luck.
for the first time, right? Or second?
That's
Thank you so
unfortunate.
much. I open everyone's microphones if you want to say thank you or something else.
We did. Thank you. Bye.
Great job, Anat.
That was
Thank you,
great.
guys.
Wonderful.
Maybe there's some questions.
No, I don't have the answers.
An interview with the mom. How do you raise such a successful daughter?
I don't know. She's just by herself.
Gets to her now.
Just very talented.
Oh, that's
And
great.
Nat, it was just wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
What a terrible camera they have or whatever they're doing.
I've got their fingers all over.
And I hope you guys were okay if there was any technical difficulties. I hope there weren't many.
I think it was good.
I thought it was wonderful.
And not when you were looking at there's Roger here, when you were looking at each musical and you had to pick out one song, which is very hard, especially on the wonderful musicals that have so many songs. How did you pick out the one? Did you pick out the way you could able to sing it, or what it meant to you, or how did you do that?
Both. Many of these songs are in my book, and I already studied them with past voice teachers. If I Loved You, I sang in my college last year, so and it was like my assignment to work on that song. So I had that one prepared. So it was kind of like I wanted to sing Broadway songs, and already a lot of the songs that I had were written by Jewish composers. So I was like, why not? And I threw in a few more that I already kind of knew and loved. So yeah.
Which was the most difficult out of all of them? You have anyone you needed help? You had to go ask for some help on it.
I needed a lot of help with The Wizard and I, with one of my teachers, because she focuses on like more contemporary singing, and that's my struggle. I'm trying to contemporize my voice. So yeah, that was the hardest one for me.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
When you are saying you need or you want to make your voice more contemporary, what does it mean exactly, and why do you have to do it if you have your own voice?
I do have my own voice, and I'm very proud of it, and I like it a lot. But it's just more of like the modern style that's becoming more and more popular in the industry. And since I want to do this professionally one day, I want to be a little more marketable, but still be myself.
I just hope that I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you're smart enough and you understand it. But to me, it looks like the way of kind of giving up a little bit of your own personality. I hope that's not gonna happen.
No, I'm trying to still be myself, and I do love contemporary singing. It's very fun for me. So I like all types of singing. I want to do it all. Honestly, that's if you wanna make it in this business, you gotta know how to do it all, and you gotta love to do it all too. Because why would you do it in the first place, anyways?
Yes.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
It was wonderful, Anat. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Very
Thank
nice.
marvelous.
Thank
Just
you,
marvelous.
Thank you very much. Can you do one more? Can you do one more?
Oh no. Oh God. I just sang 10 very big songs.
You were very good. You were excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think people want more and more. So
Yes.
I think maybe
another
next time
Yes.
we'll do another afternoon with musical.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Would be lovely.
Thank
Musical.
you, everyone.
Thank you
Good
so
night.
much. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good luck.
very much.